Have you ever heard of FTX? It was one of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world, but you know what happened? It collapsed in 2022, leaving behind an $8 billion hole. Now the founder is in deep trouble. Imagine being at the top of the crypto world, known as the king of crypto, only to experience a sudden downfall. That's the story of Sam Bankman Fried, the founder of FTX. But what led to his downfall? Let's dive deep into this $8 billion scandal that has shaken the crypto community. Sam Bankman Fried, the 31-year-old founder of FTX, was once a billionaire and a prominent figure in the crypto world. But today he stands convicted of fraud and money laundering, facing decades behind bars. How did this happen? It all started with FTX's sister company, Alameda Research. Can you imagine? Alameda was not just any company, it was a hedge fund that traded cryptocurrencies. The mastermind behind both FTX and Alameda was none other than Bankman Fried. Now, here's where it gets interesting. He used his powerful position to siphon money from FTX straight to Alameda. Have you ever trusted someone with your money? Imagine lending someone your hard-earned cash, only to find out they've been using it without your permission. That's exactly what Bankman Fried did. He brazenly lent FTX customer funds to Alameda, and even worse, he used those same funds to make high-stakes investments for Alameda. How would you feel if you knew your money was being used for such high-risk ventures? It's heartbreaking to think that Bankman Fried knew the dangers he was putting FTX customers in, but greed clouded his judgment. Do you think money can blind people to the consequences of their actions? It seemed that way for Bankman Fried, who seemed more engrossed in lining his pockets than those of his close allies. Then, in November 2022, the storm hit. FTX began drowning in liquidity issues. Can you imagine the panic and fear of not having enough cash to fulfill customer withdrawal requests? Instead of being honest, Bankman Fried lied to customers and investors, claiming everything was fine at FTX. Have you ever been lied to by someone you trusted? The betrayal cuts deep. The final blow came in early December 2022 when FTX declared bankruptcy. The mighty had fallen, and the fallout was catastrophic. But justice has a way of catching up, doesn't it? Bankman Fried was investigated and charged with fraud. The gavel came down hard as he was found guilty on all counts. The magnitude of Bankman Fried's deception is disturbing, ranking among the most significant financial frauds ever witnessed. It sent shockwaves through the cryptocurrency world. Do you believe this scandal will change how we view and regulate cryptocurrencies? Let's discuss and navigate these turbulent waters together. According to Reuters, prosecutors painted a picture of a man who believed the rules didn't apply to him. They argue that Bankman Fried's actions were driven by greed and a desire for power. CBS News reported that the trial revealed how FTX collapsed into bankruptcy, leaving billions of dollars of customer funds unaccounted for. Euronews shed light on the gravity of his actions. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams stated, Sam Bankman-Fried perpetrated one of the biggest financial frauds in American history, a multi-billion-dollar scheme designed to make him the king of crypto. The charges against him were severe, with potential penalties adding up to 115 years in prison. However, despite the weight of the evidence, Bankman-Fried maintained his innocence throughout the trial. But what was the nature of his crimes? The prosecution presented a case showing how Bankman-Fried used his other company, Alameda Research, to siphon billions of dollars from FTX customer accounts. This money was used for various purposes, from repaying Alameda lenders to buying properties and making significant political donations. The BBC added more context, highlighting the rapid rise and fall of FTX. At its peak, the crypto exchange was valued at a staggering $32 billion. However, when it declared bankruptcy, a whopping $8 billion in customer funds was missing. This led to Bankman Fried's arrest and subsequent trial. But it wasn't just Bankman Fried who was implicated. 3 of his close associates, including his ex-girlfriend Caroline Ellison, pleaded guilty and testified against him. They hoped for leniency in their sentences. Their testimonies provided a damning account of the inner workings of FTX and Alameda Research, revealing the extent of the fraud. Do you believe this scandal will have long-term implications for cryptocurrency? What do you think about the FTX scam? Do you think the crypto industry needs stricter regulations to prevent such scandals in the future? What are the latest news regarding his trial? Do you think it's a sign that the cryptocurrency industry is doomed? Keep watching to find out. The trial was a significant event, not just for Bankman Fried, but for the entire crypto industry. It highlighted the potential pitfalls and dangers of an industry still in its infancy. The lack of regulations and oversight can lead to situations where individuals can manipulate the system for their own gain. The verdict? It was a heart-stopping moment. Coming almost 1 year to the day after FTX's shocking bankruptcy filing, this rapid corporate downfall not only sent tremors through the financial markets, but also obliterated an astounding $26 billion personal fortune. Can you imagine the weight of such a loss? After an intense and suspense-filled 4 hours of deliberations, the jury finally decided. Bankman Fried, who had passionately pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of fraud and 5 counts of conspiracy, waited anxiously. His hands were clasped tightly before him as if holding onto a small piece of hope. As the verdict echoed in the courtroom, one couldn't help but wonder, what was racing through his mind then? The prosecution's case was built on evidence showing how Bankman Fried and his associates misused customer funds. They presented evidence of money transfers between FTX and Alameda Research, which were not in the best interest of FTX customers. Instead of safeguarding customer funds, Bankman Fried used them for various personal and business ventures. His defense, on the other hand, painted a picture of a young entrepreneur who made mistakes but acted in good faith. They argued that while he might have shown poor judgment, it did not constitute a crime. What's going to be after all this? The jury was not convinced. After less than 5 hours of deliberation, they found Bankman Fried guilty. This verdict sends a strong message to the crypto industry about the importance of transparency, honesty, and integrity. The conviction was a victory for the U.S. Justice Department and Damian Williams, the top federal prosecutor in Manhattan, who made rooting out corruption in financial markets one of his top priorities. The weight of this victory could be felt in the air. The crypto industry might be in its infancy and figures like Sam Bankman Fried might be the new kids on the block, Williams passionately remarked. But deceit and fraud, they're as ancient as time itself, and we have zero tolerance for it. His words, spoken with conviction outside the courthouse, were a stark reminder of the age-old battle between right and wrong. The final day arrived. The courtroom was tense as U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan announced the date to decide Bankman Fried's fate, March 28, 2024. The prospect of spending decades behind bars was a stark reality for the Massachusetts Institute of Technology graduate. Mark Cohen, his defense lawyer, addressed the media. "We are deeply disappointed," he admitted, the weight of the verdict evident in his voice. "However, we respect the jury's decision." He paused, choosing his words carefully. Mr. Bankman Fried maintains his innocence and will continue to fight the charges against him vigorously. How do you feel about Williams' stance on corruption in the financial markets? The Sam Bankman Fried scandal serves as a cautionary tale for the crypto world. As the industry continues to grow, it's crucial to ensure that it operates transparently and ethically. Only then can we hope to prevent such scandals in the future. Do you believe this scandal will have long-term implications for cryptocurrency? How do you feel about the verdict? Do you think justice was served? We would love to hear from you in the comments box. Until next time!